Hello and welcome to episode 400 of T-Shirt Joe's Fast Custom Podcast, sponsored by DWN Productions here at BOYGOB.com. What were you drinking there, PP?
Yeah, I'm drinking a peach wheat from our good friends over at Shiner, who we're in negotiations with to sponsor this show. But we'll see. We'll see. We don't want to sell out, so we might tell them just to go fuck themselves. Want to get that fuck in early. Within the first minute of the show, bump up these views a little bit. You know.
And I just want to say, for the record, I have no connections or have been in no talks with the Spotzel Brewing Company. Is that it?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Been at this 9 years, Joe.
It's a long time, man. But it's all paid off,
Hello, listener. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We just can't admit defeat. I think that's the. Oh no, we got YouTube now and we got the abilities to chop it up. That'll do something. And that'll bring the numbers in.
Yeah. And I think YouTube just teases us once in a while. Hey, let's throw this out there where people will see it or click on it and something. That way they don't give up on us, And then it goes back down to, hey, 19 views. Hey,
Yeah, I just did a good old bonus boy gob on the new Terror Vision Slashers Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna do standalone Blu-ray reviews anymore. I don't think I could feel like a bigger fucking dork if I fucking tried and sitting here reviewing goddamn Blu-rays by myself. What a piece of shit I am.
I noticed that today when I was reading old Spider-Man's. Hey, Tom put a new video up. Hey, slashers. I thought he talked about that not too long ago. It's a vinegar syndrome thing. Okay.
See, this is the fucked up thing, Joe. I thought I talked about that not too long ago, too. And so I went to the old letterbox to see what I rated it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't rated.
Well, and then you typed it in. Maybe that was one of your drunk nights or something, because you definitely talked about it.
No, I understand. So I searched the old podcast feed at BOYGOB.com 2 years ago.
Okay. I'm live, man. I dig that movie, but I don't dig it enough to buy a vinegar syndrome slipcase, whatever the fuck they did with it. I'm not even interested in special features with it, but I'm good with my DVD. Whenever I come across that, I'll watch it again and I'll keep it, I think it's been like 9-10 years since I've seen it, so who knows.
Yeah, that's about how old the movie was. I think it said 2021. It came out DVD 2022, so.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I bought from like fucking a Hollywood Video, the 4 for $20 or whatever, when they used to sell them like that. Yeah. So that was one of the rare good ones that I got, I guess.
And I fucking hated that shit when I first, rented it from there. It was weird. Like, yeah, fuck all this goofy shit. It's supposed to be horror. I don't want all this goofy shit. Couple of years later, it's fucking all I want.
Yeah, that's totally your thing. Yeah.
But yeah, just to throw it out there, Terror Vision left Vinegar Syndrome, you see. So now they're on their own. I just want to make that known, just so now they're like, I guess, a little guy trying to come up. So they want to be known that they're separated. I'll let it be known. But they've put out some all right shit. Nothing I've bought until now. But just seeing it was like, oh, all right. Like that Linnea Quigley horror workout. That's worth a watch for the novelty. But there's no way I'd buy the Blu-ray of that shit.
So they put that out on vinyl. I guess the music or whatever. And yeah, I almost clicked on that and say, hey, that's a novelty. And then what the fuck are you thinking, Joe? You haven't fucking paid your taxes yet. Just hold up, hold up. So you go see the tax man, you
Hmm.
know. But because they did a lot of good shit coming out, but I'm trying not to spend money, of course. The soundtrack for Godzilla minus whatever, that was a pre-order too, and it's like $50. Fuck. But I'll eventually get it. It's just I can't do it right now. So sorry, Vinegar Syndrome. Sorry, Terror Vision. Sorry, Mondo Records and Death Waltz and all you guys. I can't be spending no money on that shit right now.
Yeah, it is not a good time to buy stuff. Luckily, I pre-ordered this back in October. So finally, people say, "Oh, it takes Vinegar Syndrome long to ship." I mean, you'll get it the next month.
Hmm.
This 4 months later, which is fine. Shit happens.
Yeah, it's not like you were in a rush to watch it or anything.
No, but it's a solid disc for sure. I didn't mention it, but I think I paid 30 shipping.
Hmm.
Like I went to look to see how much it was, and then I seen that there was an option to get it without the slip cover. And in my head, I was like, "You motherfuckers!" On the pre-order, you could only choose between like slip covers. There was two different kinds. There wasn't a slip cover, and I said, "Oh, you fucking pieces of shit!"
Yeah. They had some movies out of Mexico recently too that they announced that I wanted to order or pre-order or whatever, but nope, can't do it. Vinegar Syndrome. I just can't do it right now. I'm looking for more expenses from last year. I'm digging through every fucking backpack and jacket. Maybe I put a fucking meal ticket here, and.
Yeah, I just fucking typed in all my excuse me deductibles this morning. So now there's just like the Amazon and eBay stuff. I just got to go and actually see what that was
Mhm.
and start putting it in the old TurboTax. But I've been telling you this for years. Maybe this will be the year that it sticks, Joe. But pay estimated taxes quarterly, so you're
Yeah.
not shitting your pants when all this money is due at the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
You might even get some back, Joe. I got money back last year. I was shocked.
Yeah, that was recommended to me by the person that did our accounting last year too. But what do you do? I mean, how much do you send usually per quarter?
You do it through TurboTax, and then you get these little ticket gimmicks, and it'll be like, "This is your estimated tax for this coming quarter and this quarter," and it says the dates that it's due by. But
Oh
if
well.
you want to, yeah, like that'll give you the estimated. You could make more, you could make over. I always go through my stuff and like see how much I made and then a rough estimate of my deductibles, and then I send them that. I usually scratch out whatever's printed on the paper and write my own and then send them a check.
Well, I'll ask you more questions about this later, so we don't bore our viewers with fucking thinking they're out on tax.
No,
Uh,
I'm sure it's good information for at least one person listening out of the 13.
maybe. Uh, no. Plus, I watched a lot of shit, so we should probably get to it, Tom. And I guess I'll start us off because I went ahead and, as I said, I dove into that box set, that I paid for, and I have the receipt for it and all that too. Uh, this is this. Well, it says it, but it doesn't say the name of the goddamn movie on here. This is the okay. The movie is At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. Okay, so this was the first Coffin Joe movie. It was Brazil's first horror movie. They I don't know if horror just wasn't a thing or they had laws against it, but this guy went and made a little movie, and he had connections in the theater world, so he got it screened and it was a sensation, you know. But I'll get to that in a little bit. The movie is about this guy that's he's a mortician. You know, he's got a funeral home. He does all that shit. But the populace of the town he lives in, they fear him, Tom, because he's antisocial and sacrilegious. You know, like on Lent, he's there fucking eating a leg of lamb, you know, and just kind of waving it at the fucking procession of people carrying crosses and candles in the streets. Hey, fuck y'all, I'm eating lamb. How you like that, you sons of bitch? So he's evil, Tom. You know, he's got long fingernails, and when he gets mad at people, he looks at them, he stares on them, and it closes in the eyes, and the eyes start getting all bloodshot and everything. And well, his wife, Tom, his wife is I guess you would say barren, you know? She can't have kids. She's not a real woman, is what it is, Tom. So he's like, well, you know, I gotta have, you know, my legacy live on, you know, through my children, and this bitch can't give me a kid. So what's he do? He kills her, you know? And he's got like one friend in town, that one guy that kind of likes hanging out with him or tolerates his bullshit and everything. And he wants to have that guy's chick. So he kills that guy and rapes that chick, you know, and thinks, hey, that's it. I knocked her up with my Coffin Joe sperm. You know, I'm sure she's going to have a boy. But she fucks him over by hanging herself, Tom. She kills herself. You know, the people in the town are like real pissed off, but they're scared of him. You know, every time he goes in the bar, he kicks somebody's ass, but he does it in a sacrilegious way. Like one guy stands up to him, you know, he's like, we had enough of your shit, Coffin Joe. You know, we're not going to take it. No, we're not going to take it. So Coffin Joe grabs a cross, or not a cross, a crown of thorns off of this Jesus thing they have there, shoves it in that guy's face, you know. Fuck yeah. He's a cold-blooded motherfucker, Tom. And, well, the thing is, he doesn't believe in God. He don't believe in the devil. But this gypsy told him, oh, I saw how you're going to die. The ghosts are going to come and kill you. At midnight, they'll take your soul. And, oh, shit, he's walking home one night. Oh, you know, oh, me susto. You know, tengo miedo. And, yeah, he's all scared of these fucking ghosts he's seeing. And, you know, they just scare him to death, Tom. And he just fucking dies there at the end. So that's it. That's the end of Coffin Joe. We will never see another movie from him because he clearly died at the end of this movie. I love this shit. This shit's so fucking fun, and just he's just a vile, sorry son of a bitch. But so we got new artwork here from some guy named Butcher Billy or something, and it's reversible, and the other side looks just as bad, a little better. But it's like, man, I don't know what side I want. Neither one, I guess. It'll stay in the box and I won't have to see it. Okay, so also got a little funeral card, you know, his business card, I guess. You know, that's a pretty cool little gimmick. But what am I going to do with that shit? You know, cards of the reversible thing. I think this was the original poster. Why that's not on one of these things, why I can't reverse it to this, I don't know. Even better, like a little fucking thing like that. These little kind of postcard type things. And then you get 90 days free of whatever streaming service they're trying to push on you. Yeah, not going to do that. But hey, I already bought your thing, man. Right? Quit trying to squeeze me for more money. So, extras, Tom. I watched the goddamn extras. How about that? It does have a commentary with Coffin Joe, but I didn't listen to that because I just watched the movie and I don't speak Portuguese. You know, I don't even have a rudimentary, you know, Portuguese is a weird ass language. It's like French and German and fucking Spanish. So every like 13th word I'll understand. Hey, he just said house, you know? So didn't do that because I didn't want to watch the movie all over again. But I did, they have something on here called Coffin Joe's Sadean Underworld. I say, all right, what's this? What's this? It's a fucking essay that they just show clips from the movie, and this, you know, it's an essay by a film scholar, Tom. So what do you think they're saying here? You know,
Hello, my name's David Shaw, and I'd like to talk to you about one of my favorites, Coffin Joe.
It's a chick that's
Uh-oh. Turn
so
it off. Burn the disc.
uh, so this brings to mind, of course, the works of Marquis de Sade, and what Coffin Joe Jose Totana is trying to do is talk to us about the fascism that's all this shit that's just bullshit that has nothing to do with fucking anything. It's like, hey, has she ever listened to anything about Coffin Joe? Because he didn't give a shit. He wasn't trying to make a political statement. He was making a movie about some vile motherfucker. He wanted to shock people. He wasn't trying to enlighten anybody. So, yeah, these film fucking scholars, man, they are fucking so up their own asses. They're full of shit. Uh, yeah, got through that shit. After that, there is a documentary called Damned, The Strange World of Jose Mojica Marins. And this is a lot of archival, as they like to say, interviews with the guy that created was Coffin Joe. He's talking a lot about the censorship that he went through with some of the later movies. He's talking to a guy that wrote a lot of the old later shit for him, and they go into this guy's office. This guy has a crazy ass book collection. It's just like a fucking warehouse of all kinds of shit, and it's all like he's got this whole section of comics, that I guess are in Brazilian or whatever the fuck. And then they talk about the guy that was his cinematographer, but I like to call him the camera dude. The guy that would film shit. And as they're talking more and more, they start to talk about an early film that they did, which was just fucking bestiality. Yeah, it's about a chick getting fucked by a dog. She's doing this to make her man jealous, and the cinematographer is, oh yeah, I forgot what he said the dog's name. He said, that's the best actor I've ever worked with. He was just, so intense, so loving in his attentions with this woman. Yeah, fucking weird. Yeah, I wanted to buy that dog, but the owner wouldn't let me have him. And so anyway, the thing with that movie, the guy that she's getting jealous, he decides to fuck a mule, to get back at her. It's like, wait a minute, this guy, what the fuck? So this kind of changes my whole opinion of this Coffin Joe shit, you know? I don't know. It seems like he was just making fucked up porn to make a buck or something. But yeah, this was enlightening. This was not some shit I'd heard before. Yeah, I guess old fucking Arrow didn't promote that. From the guy that made the dog fucking movie. Weird, fucking weird, man. And then there's some clips of some early films that he did, but they look all shitty. And he's just talking about, like how he got people to be in it and everything. Oh, and speaking of which, the transfer on this movie, the At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul, this doesn't look any better than what I remember from the DVD. I don't there wasn't a recognizable Blu-ray quality improvement to it. So, I don't know, man.
Does it say anything on the back like new 2K scan from the inner positive shoved up my ass?
It says brand new 4K restoration from a 35 millimeter introspective and a 35 millimeter print. It didn't look all that hot, I mean, it doesn't look like shit, but I don't remember the DVD looking like shit either. So, I don't know. We'll see. Next week, I'll be talking about Disc 2, which features the second part of the original Coffin Joe trilogy. I'm hoping no animals were hurt during the filming of any of these movies.
Yeah, I've never heard of this fucking shit before them announcing this set, so yeah, I have.
Yeah, before, like, they did a set in when Best Buy carried everything, when Anchor Bay was doing everything. There was a set that was in the shape of a coffin, and it had that original trilogy, and it had, because this guy was huge, he had like a TV show, and they made comics about him, and they had like mini like reprints of the comic in that set, and that shit was cool. But they're not in this set, you know. I don't know. I guess they didn't get the rights to that or whatever.
I should have gave it the Gamera treatment.
Yeah, they should have.
Fucking prigs.
Gamera, he's only got what? How many movies was that? 7?
There was more than 7 movies for sure.
Yeah, let's just give him a business card.
Ah, Joe. Shit. I watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger classic End of Days. Have you seen this one?
I've seen it like a long time back when it first came out on cable, but I really don't remember it all that well.
That's because it is lame and forgettable as fuck, Joe. So it's 1979. We're at the Vatican. We see, all the NAMBLA members together talking about, oh, we need to kill this child because it's going to birth the Antichrist. And fucking the main guy's just like, no, no, no. We have to protect the child from getting knocked up to give birth from the Antichrist. 20 years later, 1999. Oh shit, the millennium's coming. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's an ex-cop who's a security guy now, but not like a motherfucker who stands out in front of the Verizon store or something like that.
It's about
You like
security at.
It's like a bodyguard type of guy. That's right. So it's him and his partner Kevin Pollock. They're a couple of I could have held it if you didn't smirk. Oh shit. So yeah, they're detailing this guy that turns out to be the devil, and it's just
his car.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger fucking going up against a guy who's in a business suit who's the devil, and at the end he jumps on a sword. And there was a cool Stan Winston sculpture I seen, because at the beginning it said creature effects, but it didn't say that. It was just text. But Stan Winston Studios, all badass and cool. I tried to say it like that shit, like a dick. I'm a little kid. Anyways, so I'm just like, I've been sitting through this movie for a while. Where the fuck are these Stan Winston effects? So I looked it up and I was just like, oh shit, that sculpture and fucking thing they built looked fucking awesome. It's just a bastardized CGI version of it they show for a couple seconds. And yeah, you would think, Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting the devil would be cool. That's why I watched it. It's fucking not.
Had you not seen this one before?
Mm-mm.
All right.
I have not. Besides Predator and Hercules in New York, I don't think there's any other Arnold Schwarzenegger shit I give a fuck about. Terminator shit I seen when I was a wee lad. I don't really give a fuck about that shit. So yeah. JCVD for life, ho. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I'll agree with you there, Yeah. I gotta do my stretches.
But yeah, this shit was just kind of fucking lame. So finish.
I'm gonna tear something. Yeah, well, that's too bad. I watched a made-for-TV film, Tom, called The Gladiator, directed by Abel Ferrara, who is known for making movies about New York that take place in New York that are very of New York. But this one takes place in LA, and it stars Ken Wall, the guy that used to be in the TV show Wise Guy. and he always plays like an Italian Goomba type guy, you know.
Watch your fucking mouth.
And then this one, he's a guy that's I guess his parents died or something, and he's taking care of his younger brother. You know, he's a mechanic and all, and his brother's just gonna get his license. So you know, one night he takes him out and gonna let him drive a little. You know, there's a maniac on their streets, Tom. There's a guy driving around in a souped up Challenger, you know, a Dodge Challenger, fucking nice looking car. And that guy just starts ramming them, fucking ramming them and ramming them. So they're trying to get away and they speed up. Oh shit, here comes a semi. Ken Wall wakes up, you know, a couple of weeks later in the hospital, you know. Hey, where's my brother? He didn't make it. So Ken Wall's pretty depressed, you know. He doesn't know what to do. He's driving around at nights, you know, and just looking at how people are driving drunk, being all shitty and everything. He says, well, fuck. I got to do something about this. So he soups up his truck, you know, and puts like a grappling hook on his truck. And if he sees somebody driving, you know, drunk, swerving around, you know, he'll like, hey, pull over. I'm making a citizen's arrest. Fuck you, buddy. And so he'll just, you know, get out the old grappling hook and control it somehow inside. You know, it turns and it shoots the hook through them, and he'll just drag them to the side and call the cops on them. You know, the cops are upset. Cops never like a vigilante on the streets, Tom. They don't. You let the cops do their job, you know. But he's also hoping that maybe he's going to run into this guy that that's just been killing people in his souped up Dodge Charger that nobody can seem to fucking find anywhere, even though there's not a whole lot of those on the streets of LA, I'm sure. But fuck it, you know, he's killed a couple of more people, you know, running them off the road, running them into shit to where their car just fucking explodes midair for no reason, you know. And eventually, Tom, when he's about to give this whole thing up, you know, because they got him now, they're calling him the Gladiator. And, you know, the city's divided. Hey, is he a hero or is he a menace? You know, I don't know. They need a good editorial or two on him. But he does. He does run into this guy, Tom. And there's a long car chase, you know, and souped up car versus souped up truck. And yeah, I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but Ken Wall stops him. Doesn't kill him. Stops him. Cops roll up. Here's the guy that killed my brother. And then they arrest them both. The end. It's all right. It's a thing of its time. Very definitely. Abel Ferrara, if you watch any of his movies, you know, he likes doing these shots where, you know, people are driving New York and you'll see all the people on the streets and the signs and everything. So he couldn't resist that shit. When Ken Wall is driving through Hollywood or whatever, downtown Hollywood, you know, just all the neon and all that shit. Ken Wall, I don't know. He can play one character, you know, but he's good at that. He's probably not even acting, but he married one of the Barbie twins, man. You got to give him props for that shit, right? Right? The fucking Barbie twins. Do you remember those hoes?
I
No?
do not.
Shit, Tom, where the fuck were you?
Probably in my dad's ball bag.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. The Gladiator.
Joe, I watched a movie called IMPS. It stands for fucking something, immorality, pictures, shows, some fucking bullshit. I don't know. It's like a Kentucky Fried movie or one of these, but with like horror, smut, let's call it, and like of its time parody sketches. Um, Man, like the No Ma'am guys from fucking Married with Children, this would probably be one of their favorite fucking movies. Like if you like of their time pornography stars, I'm sure this one is filled with them because every other sketch things happen which you would enjoy, Joe.
All right.
That's why I suggested this one to you as like halfway through. I'm just like, yeah, this one seems like it's right up Joe's alley. It's like if you were around that time, and this came out, like if not you, but like the collective you out there, if
Right.
you were like a person of that time, you probably would have thought this was funny as shit. But for some reason, it got shelved till like 2009. So you got this early 80s fucking titty skit spoof fucking thing that just got shelved for years and years and years. But there's people you know in it. Fred Willard, Linda Blair, that one guy, that other dude. I just can't remember right now because I watched this so many days ago. And if we don't spit it out soon, I just forget it if it's not spectacular. But it's funny. They do the how many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb joke? And they fucking act it out in live action. I fucking laughed my balls off at that shit. Uh but yeah, it's pretty funny shit and whack offable if that's the kind of thing you're into. So it's on Tubi. I think I started watching it on the old Roku channel and then that froze, so I went to Tubi. But yeah, IMPS, IMPS. It's definitely worth a watch if you like sketch comedy, and especially if like watching movies in the 80s, that was your heyday and shit. I think it's worth checking out, especially for you. I think you would fucking get a kick out of it.
I will watch Imps. Um, so I finished up this set, the Baba, whatever, with the last film on it is Kill, baby. Kill. And yeah, I know I've been giving Bob a pretty, like the rundown and stuff, just not that good. Well, fuck, this movie's really good. This one surprised the shit out of me. This is about a coroner, a dead body guy that he's been called to this village to do an autopsy on some chick that died under mysterious circumstances. And he does he does an autopsy and finds that somebody had put a coin in this lady's heart. But I guess he didn't, because they would have had to have cut in there, right, to get that there. Wouldn't there have been like fucking scar tissue and shit? Anyway, that's beyond the point. Anyway, well, who's killing all these people? Well, fuck, there's this little girl that he keeps seeing. And turns out that little girl's a ghost that the whole fucking town is afraid of. Yeah, and this little girl just pops up, looks in people's windows, and they see her. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. I'm going to die. It's just Italy, little girls. And it's cool, man. It fucking looks good. The story is actually decent. If well, I guess the other ones were kind of ghost stories or resurrected witches or whatever, but those weren't good. Those are his fucking big movies, Black Sunday and Black Sabbath. This movie kicks the fuck out of those. I would recommend this shit and then skip all that other stuff, any giallos or whatever. I still got another box of this prick's movies that I'm going to have to go through, but maybe I'll take a week off of Baba, or maybe not. Should I just run through it just to fucking get it out of there and sell these fucking sets somewhere on the cheap? Yeah, next show I'm at, you can look for the old Baba set if that's something you're into. I'll talk, oh yeah, you got to watch Baba. He's a god, as somebody said on one of my Facebook posts. I don't know about that. This guy is, this is 1 for 5 on this set. 1 for 5 on this whole fucking set. And that's really disappointing, man. I'm glad I never bought any books on the guy, but because I know if I did, they'd be like that essay I talked about, talking about what he is doing with the lighting and how it's supposed to reflect the inner turmoil of somebody's soul or some bullshit like that. Hey, this was just a good movie. The lighting was good. The cinematography was good. I'll give it to. You made one good movie that I've seen so far.
Joe, speaking of just burning through movies and getting them done, I watched Return to the 36th Chamber. Uh, this one stars the guy from the last movie, but he's not playing the guy from the last movie. He's playing like a grifter who's pretending to know kung fu to help save a village from a tyrant who's like their boss at a textile mill or some shit. And then uh the boss finds out that he's a fucking liar. He's a no good liar. So then he goes and trains kung fu and then comes back and saves the day. The end. It fucking sucks. And then Ty came over. He said, "Oh shit, Shaw Brothers, you like that shit?" I said, "Fuck no. As soon as I'm done watching these, it's yours except for one disc." So it all worked out. But yeah, the first one was okay. This one was not. Their shitty, quaint little sets got old quick. This shit made it look like it was made in the 60s. It was made in the early 80s. Like when they went off the sets and out into the world, did their little romping around in the woods and shit. It's like, oh, all right, yeah, this looks like an 80s movie and shit now. I could see that. Get off these sets and just go fucking romp around in a cornfield or whatever the fuck you got to do to get off those goddamn sets. But oh, fuck this movie right in the butt. It's like a comedy and it's buffoonery.
Special features?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, definitely not your thing, man. Yeah, I was
Fuck
very surprised
no.
when you bought this set, but all right, Tom. It's a special month, man.
Mm.
You know, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned it yet. You're usually good about talking about this kind of thing, but it's Black History Month, Tom. And in recognition of that, I watched Mr. Untouchable. This is the story of Nicky Barnes, and he was a drug kingpin in New York in the 70s. And dude made all kinds of money because he was hooked up with the Italians there, you know, so they let him operate certain areas. You know, he would get drugs from them on credit, resell it on the streets, pay them back, make $1 million here, $1 million there. He builds up his crew, all that shit, gets real fucking cocky, and you know, poses for a news magazine. And then Jimmy Carter says, "Hey, what the fuck you letting this guy do? He's just fucking rubbing it in our faces. You know, there's a heroin crisis, you fucks. Y'all take him down." They do. They take him down. He goes to prison. While he's in prison, his wife finds out that he had this young, hot fucking mistress all this time. She says, "Fuck you, dude." So she starts fucking around with this, you know, guy from his crew. He gets pissed and says, "You know what? I'm snitching out all you motherfuckers." He does. He snitches them all out. They all go to prison. He gets in the witness protection program. And I guess that's how he's living now because they just show him in the shadows, Tom. He's just talking in the shadows. This guy's a fucking snitch, man. You
Could
know?
you tell if he had stitches or not?
No, I couldn't tell because he was in the shadows, you see. Uh, but this is not the greatest documentary. It's very cheaply done. It's kind of like a highlight reel. It's what it felt like. You know, it zooms past this shit or that shit. They show the same pictures over and over and over in the thing. There's some good music in it, you know, interspersed. I guess that's where they spent all their money is on the music. And uh, yeah, not really good. I guess in some uh, places, this guy is still looked on as a hero, you know, of the underworld or whatever. He's fucking snitch, man. You snitched out your fucking crew. Oh well. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think I just got one more, and I don't really want to talk about it. It's called 4th of July. It's like a slice of life movie directed by Louis C.K., and it has some New York comedians in it. It's all right.
Oh, Louis C.K. What happened to that guy?
He's back.
Is he? Is he
Yep,
back?
I guess.
All
He
right.
was all right. I was never the biggest fan, but the guy who wrote it and starred in it, Joe List, he's all right. I guess it's just a bunch of all right motherfuckers. Nick DiPaolo's in it. He's funny. It's probably the funniest part of the movie, but it's okay. Don't watch it, Joe.
Uh, Roop came over on Friday, and me and him, we get together. We always watch some music documentaries and shit. So we watched Sepultura, Chaos AD. So it was Brazilian week around here because these guys are Brazilian, you know. But they sing in English because they know where, fucking heavy metal spends money in the good old US of fucking A, baby. So what this does is it collects 3 different video cassette releases of concerts, and the first one was in Barcelona, yeah, Barcelona, and then the second one was in Donington, Tom, which is in England, and so that place, it just looks like a big fucking mess. It's like Donington Castle. I guess the outside is a castle and the inside is just gutted. Just a big fucking courtyard. And a lot of people have played there. I got 2 live albums from Dio that were recorded there. But as they show this crowd, jamming out, who are you here for? Sepultura! We're here for Sepultura. Well, Sepultura, mate, is what they're saying. But they're drinking from these fucking big plastic containers, They're just fucking doing that.
What were they doing?
And I don't know. Then they showed this guy pissing in a different container, or one of those containers. So I got a hold of my buddy David. Hey, mate, you ever go watch a show in Donington? Yeah, I have. I've watched maybe 5 different shows there. And so he told me the shows. He saw Dio play there, and he saw some other bands. And there was one that was weird. It was like Metallica and just some fucking heavy bands, but headlining it was Bon Jovi, which was like a weird combination. But I asked him, so people were drinking from these plastic jugs and shit. He said, yeah, that's part of the Donington experience. Is like, the thing is, like, you didn't want to lose your place in line going for a drink, going to the bar. So you'd take these big fucking jugs and you would drink from it. And you also didn't want to lose your place, by the stage going to the loo. So after you were done, you would piss in it, and then you would just toss it. He said there was no moment that he said that you couldn't look back, and there was just these things just flying around with fucking liquid spraying all over. So it was a big fucking it was a water sports along with the show. But hey, that's
Yeah,
Britain.
in case you needed another fucking reason to hate white people.
So I don't think I'll be going to watch a show in Donington. Plus, I'm too old for fucking big festivals like that anyway. I want to fucking stand out there with a bunch of people. And the last one is about the Roots album, which is a badass album. I like this band a lot. I don't know if I talked about it last week, but I went to go see the main guy from this band with him and his son's new band, Go Ahead and Die. Good shit, man.
Those those shirts were all around back in the day. Those orange camo shirts with the centipede or whatever the fuck was on it.
Yeah.
And I saw them once at Tattoo the Earth Festival, and I thought their band name was Sepultura.
Sepultura.
And that is all I know about those guys.
So the second one we watched, it's called Welcome to Your Funeral. It is the story of Rigor Mortis, which is a heavy metal band here from the Dallas area. I am not from the Dallas area, so I listened to metal and I heard these guys, and I thought they were fucking great. And they were in competition with Pantera at the time, who was just coming up. But Pantera was a glam band at the time. They had the teased hair and shit.
Is
They
that
had
another word for racist?
they had a keytar. You know, they wore the spandex and all that shit. So these guys were doing real metal. Eventually, Pantera would too. But it's all about these guys, their formation of the band, and struggles along the way, this and that shit, and what Dallas was like at that time with the metal scene. So it's interesting. It's pretty fucking good. But it's narrated by Phil Anselmo, who is the singer now from Pantera. That guy, you shouldn't have him narrate shit. Cause he talks like this, Tom. You know, it's trying to be a tough sounding voice, and he is talking about the heavy riffs that came out of Rigor Mortis. It's just distracting. You know, it's just not good. So Bruce Corbett, who was the singer, I met him. I bought this off of him.
Because he needed the money.
Yeah, he did. End of this, they got signed by Capitol Records, which Capitol Records is fucking huge, right? So you think you're going to be on Easy Street. I think maybe the week after that, it doesn't go into that in this one, but that's why this is part one. They were supposed to do a part two. The week after that, they were performing a show. A big fight broke out, and the guy got stabbed like 5 times in the back, like real critical shit. And so
Caesar style.
that fucked them up, you know. And then, you know, as bands tend to do, they stopped getting along. They went their separate ways, and then they started to reform, get their shit together. They're a little older, and unfortunately, Bruce was diagnosed with cancer, and from then on, it was just like, yeah, he was really trying to push this at the end, and he was humbled. You know, not as cocky or as like fucking ready to start fights, I guess, after getting stabbed 5 times and then, you know, having the esophagus cancer or whatever it was. Yeah, sadly, you know, it took him out. And but this is a good testament. This is really, if you're into metal and if you can find a copy of this, maybe it's on Housecore Horror's website. I'm not sure. It should be. Fuck it, you know. I highly recommend it. If you're into fucking metal from the time, check it out. Then, Tom, because you know it's Black History Month, right?
What?
Yeah. So I watched a film called Blacks Can't Swim.
What the fuck did you just say?
Well, that's what the film's called. And I thought this was just going to be some goofy shit, you know, some funny stuff. And it is at the beginning. You know, it talks about, he's interviewing people, you know, hey, how do you feel about swimming? You know, it's like, well, no, I don't swim. You know, it's, and it's in Britain. So it's, you know, these black folks talking with that British accent, which is real weird.
Always laugh.
No, not all of them, because some of them are from Jamaica and some of them they're from Ghana or wherever. So there's different accents, but everybody's trying to sound British, I think. You know, I think that's the thing. Once you get there, you got to try to sound British, you know, to fit in. When in
like
Rome,
Paddington, because, you know, he came from Peru, but he's all talking like this, mate.
Mm-hmm. And it's there's a framing sequence with this guy that's just fucking scared because there's weather reports that it's going to flood real bad, so, and he can't fucking swim. You know, so he buys a Gucci life jacket and he's wearing it 24/7, you know, and it's just about him trying to overcome his fear. But he's talking to people and they're talking about, you know, the stereotypes. So, oh no, well, and some of them don't even realize it's a stereotype. Like one guy's talking about, hey, no, well, we have genetically heavier bones, so we tend to sink and we can't swim. And, you know,
how dare you say that?
I'll cut to somebody else and say, "Nah, that's bullshit, man. That's just a fucking stereotype that has been propagated for so long that even some of us believe it." You know, talks about how the chlorine in swimming pools fucks with their hair real bad, you know, or fucks with their skin, and that's so people like, nah, I didn't fucking want to go to fucking it's swimming pool because then it takes forever to get my hair back in order or whatever.
Okay, so you know, back in the day, it was a much more racist time, you see.
Was
Uh, do you think chlorine was originally used to keep them out?
I don't know. Fuck. I would think it's used because people are going to be pissing in the pool and just to like fucking kill all those germs and shit. I don't know. I don't know how
But
that works. I don't know shit about swimming pools.
but you're Mexican, so you
Yeah,
know a little bit about swimming.
people assume that we all know how to fucking swim real good. I can swim, but if there's like a heavy current, I'm fucking dead. You know?
What if there's a little bit of barbed wire? Does it spook you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get all fucking tangled up in that shit, and then they're gonna come along and shoot me like I'm Don Johnson or something. You know?
Oh, luckily I'm white and our people grew up fucking dolphins, so I can swim my nuts off.
That's what they say. And yeah, this little white girl, and she swam like a dolphin. It's that was that comparison that they made in this. So yeah, this was disappointing because it wasn't as funny as I was hoping for. Because I'm a prick and I just want to laugh at people. That it didn't work out for me this time. So then, Tom, I made a little trip down under. You see, Australia after dark, and this is from our good friends at Intervision, a subsidiary of Severin Films. This is one of those Mondo movies, Tom, that shows you strange and bizarre things from different places in the world. Like, get this, you're not going to believe this. They show a gay wedding in this, Tom.
Did you puke?
They show Aborigines drinking beer like it's going out of style. And, well, they have one prick walking around with a gibberty doo or whatever that fucking thing is. That pissed me off. They showed the biggest, longest bar in the world is in Australia at the time. I don't know if it's still now. They show a witch's coven, Tom. People practice witchcraft. They show an erotic art museum, Tom. They show an artiste type.
What was in that museum, Joe?
Pictures of fucking Kama Sutra shit, and I don't know. It's fucking lame. They show this guy painting women by throwing paint on them, and then they roll around on the canvas, because that's fucking. I don't know, man. This was made in 1975. Maybe that shit was shocking or titillating then. It ain't shit now, man. This is fucking anywhere you go. You can step outside. Hey, what's up? All my gay friends walking by. Pretty good.
Oh my God, they know how to speak.
Then they show. What was the guy's name in Rocky Horror Picture? Frankenfurter type guy that like sings a song or something, and I don't know. A lot of it takes place during the day, so the title's a bunch of bullshit. I can't recommend this. Not good. Not good.
So I thought these Mondo movies had something to do with big fat tits. That's not the case.
Well, I mean, I guess they couldn't find anybody, but there's a lot of tits in this, but they're not big fat ones. There's this one chick that's like snorkeling topless and everything, or fucking just totally naked, and she's got a nice body, but I was bored with all the fucking nudity in this. It was just like nothing. Like, man, Australia doesn't seem the place to be at all. Fuck that. No.
They're probably, soiled by those dirty abo bastards.
I would, but you just did.
Oh shit! Luckily, they don't have Black History Month in Australia.
I don't know. It seems like a really racist place. Let me
Ah,
hold on, because I need a beer to talk about this. Tom.
head on over to Fast Custom Shirts. Hundreds and hundreds of t-shirt designs, all reasonably priced. Horror, sci-fi, exploitation, custom work. If you want a custom shirt, you just hit them up and maybe they'll have time to do it for you.
Well,
Yep,
I
Joe's back.
do a banner, which I'll hopefully get to this. It's been a busy week, Tom. Real fucking busy.
I understand. It has been busy. That's why mine doesn't look that much better, Joe. But
Lot
head on over to dwnproductions.net, masks, plus props, custom work. And then head on over to Tubi and check out Race War the remake.
So, Tom, I have this like ADD thing, right? That I got to go through each of the streaming services that are on my Roku, and I'll watch a movie from this one, then watch a movie from this one, interspersed with DVDs. You know, it's just like I got to go in order. So, one of the ones I always dread getting to is the Disney app. You know, it's like, well, what the fuck's on here that I even want to watch? Well, shit, I never watched the rest of this Spider-Man trilogy with this one guy that I forgot his name. And I remember not liking that first one that he did, the one with the lizard. Really,
The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, the cat.
really didn't like it. So, had no desire to watch Amazing Spider-Man's 2. But fuck, it was either that. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Careful, Tom. Don't shock yourself. Or the Eternals. So, or Guardians of the Galaxy 3, or the fucking Groot story. So I went ahead and it's like, hey, we cover Spider-Man's a lot on the show. It's like I should fucking watch it. So click on it. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Something like that. I don't know if it was exactly that long, but it had a long runtime.
2 hours and 22 minutes, Joe.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so it starts out. Spider-Man's is swinging around the city, and it looks like shit. It looks really bad. The daytime scenes that they show with this, you know, it just looks really CGI and green screened. You know, it looks a lot better later in the film when they're doing this shit in the dark or in a fucking room or something. But man, I've already forgotten a lot of this movie. He saves a guy, and it's a Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx is a he works for Oscorp or something. You know, I forget what they call the company.
He's an electrician.
Yeah. And since Spider-Man saved him, he's like really into Spider-Man's, you know, it's like, oh, you know, in his mind, they're best friends and shit. And
Yeah, I don't want to say that he's autistic because I might be talking shit about autistic people, but Jamie Foxx is definitely is some kind of fucking retarded in this movie.
yeah, yeah.
So that's unfortunate.
I don't know. What's her name? This is Gwen Stacy in these movies. And she
Yes.
job at Oscorp too. You know, she just graduated. She's trying to go to college overseas though. But in the meantime, she's gonna work at Oscorp. Uh, oh, the movie started with his parents dying in a fucking plane wreck. You know, they sent themselves some fucking information on a computer. I didn't know what the fuck was going on there and didn't care.
See, his mother was studying spiders in the jungle right before she died.
Wait, mother on the plane with him? With the dad?
Yep. The dad, his name was Dick Parker.
Yeah, so it's always like thrown me for a loop, because I always thought that was real shitty in the comics. I thought it was bullshit when I saw it in a cartoon, like they were spies or something. But now that we've actually read those annuals or whatever, oh fuck, they were spies in the comic too. What a prick I am, you know. But goddamn, that's stupid. Anyway,
Make these movies more like the comics.
yeah. Anyway, Jamie Foxx, they tell him, hey, go fix this shit up there. Okay. He goes up there, and this whole fucking building, Tom, is powered by electric eels.
That's right. Very hungry electric eels.
So he plugs this thing back in. This thing had gotten loose somehow. He just has to plug it in. Then he's shocked. He gets the shock of his life, and he dies. But
Well, he doesn't die. He gets zapped and falls a couple stories into a pool of eels, and they bite his fucking dick off, and it turns him into a fucking supervillain. A supervillain named Electro.
where the fuck do you get that shit?
Joe, this is a collector's edition Blu-ray set you see.
And that's
You pop this open and you got your Blu-ray, your 3D Blu-ray, and your DVD in there. You got it for $15. And I said, oh, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I got to get this. So I did. And all these years later, it worked out.
yeah. Gwen Stacy dumps Peter Parker. He goes and talks to his buddy Harry Osborn because that guy's dad just died, and
He didn't just die. He started turning into Warwick Davis. He got this goblinitis disease where it slowly turns him into a fucking leprechaun or some shit. It's fucking dumb. Goddamn idiotic as shit. Everything with fucking Harry Osborn in this movie fucking sucks a big dick.
so yeah, Harry Osborn thinks, well, shit, now I got that disease because it's genetic, but it can be cured if I have some Spider-Man's blood. I don't fucking know. He eventually gets Spider-Man's blood or some blood, some kind of fucking thing. The shit that
He
turns
gets the venom.
Yeah. And he injects that, and now he fucking goes crazy and gets the fucking Green Goblin exoskeleton that was being developed. I don't know. That
He
shit.
doesn't wear a mask or anything. He
No.
looks like that dickhead in Leprechaun 3 who got bit and starts turning into a fucking leprechaun man.
Shit. But you know what? There's some cool shit in this. Like when his first confrontation with Electro, Spider-Man does some fucking heroic shit. He's saving people, and it looks pretty cool. And it's like, well, fuck yeah, that's what Spider-Man's supposed to be about, doing all this shit, not getting really a whole lot of credit for. But the crowd loves him, Tom, in this. They dig, and I guess it's nice. But in all these movies, Spider-Man's is a lot more likable than he is in the comics we've been reading. Close up to issue 200 we're at now, and Spider-Man's is not likable. I used to like Spider-Man's a lot, and yeah, rereading all this shit is like, god damn, is he a fucking miserable prick? But in the movies, this guy, this Andrew Garfield, he's quite likable. Tom seems like a nice young chap.
Yep, he's the bloke, all right. You could tell because he's putting on his fucking Ninja Turtle Brooklyn accent and shit. Hey, I'm walking here. Fuck.
Yeah, that's my one thing. He's got this big hair that just doesn't sit right with me. It's like, what are you fucking starting a doo-wop band or something? No, that shit don't work. Movie's not fucking great, but it's all right. You know, it's maybe now my second favorite Spider-Man's movie. I know that
What
ain't,
you
but
what do you think about that magical part where it's Gwen Stacy's death and Spider-Man shoots a web and it's a little hand?
so that was fucking stupid. But they immediately made up for that by having her fucking slam her head on the fucking floor. I was like, holy shit! Yeah, baby. You know, they killed the fuck out of it. If they would have had some blood come out, that would have been
Well,
fucking
it came out of her nose.
uh it's like, yeah, that bitch is dead. I didn't see that, you know, because I didn't read anything on these movies. I didn't know that they actually went through the with Gwen Stacy dying, but fuck, that was even better than it was in the comic, you know? Fuck yeah, man. But yeah, that little fucking web hand. That was
And the big thing of this movie, like part of the promotion, this one and the first one, it was like, oh, these movies are so great. They're so good. The director's name, his last name is Webb. That's why we picked him, you see. Oh, all right.
uh
Bricks.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all right. It's got a lot of shitty stuff in it. Uh I thought the Green Goblin was the worst they could do, and then the fucking Rhino comes out at the end. But I didn't know it was Paul Giamatti, you know, until I fucking looked up the cast later. It's like, what? Who is he? Wait, the fuck? He was the Rhino? Hmm.
Yeah, I fucking seen this in theaters and I fucking hated it. I thought it was laughably bad. But going back and watching it now, it's like, yeah, it's all right. There's some good stuff in there. Like the scene with old PP and Aunt May. She's just like, "You my boy. Don't you ever forget it, you son bitch." I was like, "Oh, that's a good scene right there." And them in the graveyard at the funeral, that was some good shit too. And like you said, most of the Spider-Man stuff's pretty fucking good, but god damn, do all the villains look like shit. And fucking Max Rebo, or what the fucking ever his name is, the big blue bitch, he's acting like a fucking retarded person. I don't know. So I mean, there's some good shit for sure, but not as bad as I thought. But there's still a lot of fucking garbage in this movie.
There is like the whole shit that never comes to anything, you know, with him seeing Fireman Stacy's ghost or whatever the fuck, you know. It's like, hey, you know, you're gonna, you know, they should have had him come out more in the movie. Like right after she dies, they could have had him like leaning over.
Smoking a cigarette.
Listen, did you? You know?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, not a fucking total waste of time. Oh shit. Tom, you like video games?
No, they're for children.
How about movies based on video games?
As long as it's not that third Mortal Kombat one.
Well, we delved into our third Dennis Haysbert movie, Dead Rising Endgame. Fuck you, Avengers. The Dead franchise first. This is a continuation of the last one. You know, people were getting a Zombrex chip. If they were infected, it would keep them. It would, I don't know, give them a dose of Zombrex every day and keep that virus in check. But the military, they got some other plans now. You know, they figure, hey, fuck it, let's just make them all blow up and die. You know, or all fucking, let's kill them. You know, we got
They'll overdose them.
yeah. You know, so we got this program that's going to do it at a certain time. You know, the reporter from the first one, he stumbles onto that shit. Holy shit, we got so many hours to save the fucking day. Boop, boop, boop. You get a little timeline that pops up on the screen every once in a while telling us exactly how much time they got left. Yeah, and that's the movie. They got to go invade the computer place and fucking stop the program from happening. Occasionally, there's some zombies that pop up, but they don't look like the zombies in the last movie. You know, they look like vampires, I guess. You know, kind of pale skin.
They look very cheap, very, very cheap, kind of puffy.
Yeah.
Not good. One of the zombies I noticed because of the frame was so fucking weird. Why they did it like this, I don't know. But like you see a zombie on an operating table and they're naked except for underwear, and you see just like a bulge, and then it pans over and you see tits, and then you think, oh, so progressive, ahead of its time. Odd choice, but okay.
Uh, and again, I told you my pet peeve, or one of my pet peeves with zombie movies, and this one has a fucking zombie in a wedding dress. You know, just momentary, but that shit's just fucking stupid. Uh, they took out the humor aspect in this one, and that was probably the thing I liked most about the last one, which is, you know, like, wait a minute, Joe, you don't like horror comedy, but these aren't horror movies. You know, these are like wannabe action movies, I would say. And without that element in this one, this is just a fucking boring movie. You know, it's just like it slogs fucking through, and you don't give a shit about what they're doing. You don't give a shit about any of the characters. Uh, they got Billy Zane in there for some stupid reason that, and he's not even trying. Dennis Haysbert.
Yeah, I don't get the all these people. They're just like, oh, Billy Zane. I love Billy Zane. I don't get it. He's a fucking man and he wears a scarf. To me, that's no, fuck this dude. But that's just me.
And yeah, that's all there is to it. There's not much. He uses the weapon that's on the cover of the video game. They show the video game in one scene.
They
Uh,
did in the last movie too. And then you're fucking when you're talking last week, he's like, oh yeah, the point of this game is you combine shit and make weapons. All right, let's put that fucking scene in this movie again. Kill some fucking time.
um,
And instead of being like Dawn of the Dead zombies like it was in the first one, now they're like fucking 28 day later zombies where they're all fast and shit.
well, they were pretty
So
fast movie too. You know,
I
depending.
forgot it.
I'll say this: the stunt people were working their ass off. You know, there were some really good falls and shit like that. And but it's shitty that like I'm taking the time to notice it because there's nothing else that's fucking going on in this movie that really grabs my attention. Yeah, this one sucks.
Yep, it was fucking lame. Just came off like some shitty episodic TV show like ooh, Spooky 24 or something. It fucking sucked and it was lame and I'll never shop here again, Joe.
Fuck you, Crackle. I don't
But
know.
that's all right. We got some good shit coming up, Joe. In honor of Black History Month and a little more, we're going to watch some fucking good shit and do the Rudy Ray Moore movies. Surprisingly, they are all streaming. So, good shit.
What are we starting with?
Dolomite, and then we're doing Human Tornado, Disco Godfather, and then or no, Petey Wheatstraw, then Disco Godfather, then Shaolin Dolomite, and then Dolomite Explosion, aka Dolomite 2000.
All right.
Maybe I'll rewatch old Big Money Hustlers sometime. Thrown in there. Oh shit. Sorry, I am it's been a long day and I'm tired. I'm just not feeling the big 400 episode, but that's all right because we have a fantastic, amazing issue of Spider-Man. But before we get into that, Joe read some fucking other Spider-Man shit.
Marvel team up. Spider-Man's teams up with the Black Widow, but she doesn't know who she is. You know, she's got amnesia type shit, and Shield is hunting her down. And at the end of it, they shoot her and they shoot Spider-Man's. Kind of a weird cliffhanger. Over in Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man's, he's fighting with Carrion again, or he's remember Carrion's revealed to be the clone of Professor Warren, and he made an amoeba that's gonna fucking take over Spider-Man's. So this amoeba's all crawling on Spider-Man's. Oh, but things fuck up, and he, I don't know. Uh, Thought Carrion was a cool looking character, but this story just sucked, and it really didn't go anywhere. And who gives a shit? So, Amazing Spider-Man's. We're introduced to a new character, a thief, a cat burglar, you could say. She calls herself the Black Cat, and she's recruiting people to help her do something. What's she trying to do? She's trying to bust somebody out of prison. Why? We don't know. We do know because we know her name from reading other shit. Her last name is Hardy. Well, she's busting some old man named Hardy out of prison. And, yeah, that's her dad. I guess in Fantastic Four, Peter Parker got hired by that other newspaper, and he's working from them now, and they're treating him real good. And
I think it was brought up in the last issue.
all right. His buddies come to talk to him, old fucking Flash and Harry, and he's just a dick to them. Like I said.
Hey, we were throwing you that party. Where was you?
Get off my back. He's a dick, man. He's just a shitty, unlikable character. Fuck Spider-Man's. This issue.
You wanted, guys always say, oh, Spider-Man's an unlikable dick. Oh, well, this issue's a pretty good example.
Yeah, we're not making this shit up. We're not saying it to be edgy. Read this shit. And people that say, I've said this over and over the past few weeks, that, oh, no, we like it because he had real problems. No, he made all his fucking problems. The dude in the nursing home still wants something from Aunt May's house. We don't know, but he might fucking kill Peter.
There's a fucking treasure map, or she knows where the riches are. Yeah. And he's fucking strong-arming the doctor and shit. I think he's fucking smacks him or some shit and does something. This kind of a blur to me, but I remember being shocked about something he did. I think he pulled out a gun and pistol whipped him, maybe? I can't fucking remember.
Yeah, and then he made him suck his cock. He held a fucking guns. Yeah, pretty edgy. But you got Marv Wolfman writing, so so yeah, fuck it. Closing in on issue 200 here.
But if we're gonna be fair, for everything we read, I thought this issue was okay. There was a lot in it. It's a key issue, Joe. With the introduction of a new super villain anti-hero.
Would go on to be raped once Kevin Smith fucking had her in a miniseries. A really shitty fucking miniseries.
I don't see how that could be if Kevin Smith wrote it. Did you know he drew it too?
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think this one was okay, which isn't saying much, but
like I said, I have the issue. Hopefully I won't have it for long, because that's going into a box.
Oh, Joe, we've done a lot of lists in our days.
We have.
And we're going to count down some of our favorites.
Tom, at number 5, I have the Hungarian composer Franz Liszt. You know, you probably know him from such pieces as Hungarian Rhapsody.
Oh shit. My number 5 is the list where you talked about that fucking shrimp drive through or whatever the fuck you used to go through. Where you had to yell your order through a fucking piece of PVC pipe.
Internet.
Oh fuck, that was silly shit.
At number 4, this isn't my list, Tom. No, this is Craig's list. Pretty good one. I don't think I ever got anything from Craigslist, but always cool to look shit up on there and see what, you know, what weird shit people were doing. Selling their ass, I guess.
My number 4, Joe. It's a tie. And it's when we did our fears. Our fears as children and our fears as adults. I thought those were pretty fun.
And accurate. Tom, at number 3, this is a pretty important one. Also, not one of my lists, not one of your lists. This is Santa's list. You know, he keeps 2 of them. Keeps a naughty list, you know, and a good list.
My number 3 is our best and worst of the year. Those are always fun.
At number 2, and I know this is kind of weird, you know, because I don't fucking like lists. You know, I don't like doing the list part. But back in the 80s, there was a book called The Book of Lists. And I read the fuck out of that. You know, it was just like interesting shit. Oh, you know, what has, you know, which countries drink the most beer, and, you know, which, I don't know. It's just a list of anything you could think of. It was weird shit. They did 3 volumes of this fucking thing because it sold so well, Tom. The Book of Lists.
Well, Joe, my number 2 is the ones where we got drunk and sang.
Quite a few of those.
Those were sometimes fun.
At number 1, Tom, I drink a lot. You drink a lot. So if you're going to be talking to people, you know, in person, it's good that you have some Listerine with you, you know, take care of the breath problem, you know.
Well, unlike Joe, I'm not anti-Semitic. So my number 1, Schindler's List.
I'll say if I had a thought to do honorable mentions, I would say the one you came up with this year, the list of movies that we forgot about. I think that's really fucking good. And if God forbid we're doing lists at the end of next year, that should be a regular for yearly.
Oh, hey, if we're around next week, you got a list that we're doing? Nope.
No,
All right.
not.
All right, then, everybody. I appreciate you listening to what I could only assume was a lackluster 400th episode, but I mean, I appreciate you guys checking this shit out for sure. You know, you always, or I can't say when we did it live, we'd always see like the same names pop up. So, you know, that was cool to see the people actually like the shit. And, you know, you always see people sharing it, especially old fucking Excuse me. Ah, old bootleg. He's always spreading that shit around there. So thanks for that, and everybody else. It's been a long fucking time doing this show. Oh, but that's all right. I've also been doing this for a long, long time. So head on over to DWN Productions. Check out my artwork, masks, busts, props, custom work, all that good stuff. DWNProductions.net. And after that, head on over to Fast Custom Shirts. Hundreds and hundreds of t shirt designs, all reasonably priced. Shockingly reasonable. You can spend hours over there just adding stuff to your cart, which I suggest you do. So head on over to fastcustomshirts.com and then head on over to Tubi and check out my movie, Race War the Remake, and then make a little YouTube video on it of how much it sucks dick. Joe, you got anything else you want to say or add besides, hey, everybody, thanks for listening?
Just what you said. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for taking some time to listen to two guys that are not film scholars talk about film and other shit.
I can barely speak. But yeah, everybody, thank you. Hope you have a great week or whenever the fuck you watch this shit. And, hopefully everything works out and we'll be back here next week with what I can only imagine will be another lackluster episode. But in the meantime, boy, God.